Hello, everybody. I'm not James, but you might be. Last time we rescued a cake maker from the humdrum banality of, I guess, uh, staring at a rock, talking about various opinions and emotions. I don't know if we really saved her, but we're gonna eat some magic cake. Trippy, man. It's in the Far East, but it's also clearly floating in the clouds. This is our fourth party member, Pooh. Comes with a tiny ruby and a bottle of water. Pooh is an odd duck. Let's grab the stuff. Brainstone, I believe, as is my understanding, it prevents basically the equivalent of silence. Yeah, basically, the I think you can count the number of enemies on one hand that can quote unquote silence your characters, but that prevents that. So, Pooh, beacon equipment. I'm gonna go ahead and raid these people's houses. Bottle of water. So, let's talk about this character. Uh, there are a few things about him that are very unique. First off, he can equip nearly anything. However, most items that he can equip will lower his defense and or offense. I'm gonna raid all these people's houses. Another thing about Pooh is that he straight up cannot eat most foods. He will recover 6 HP regardless. The only items that he can partake of are the bottle of water, which will restore his PP, and the brain food launch, which will restore him to full. Yes, he will get exactly one piece of equipment for each slot throughout the entire game. His weapon is a 1 in 128 drop, arguably the most famous one. Alright, once he posts up here and meditates, all you do is press the A button to advance speech. So we got this thing right here. Also surprisingly brutal for what is essentially... I don't remember if this game is rated E or T at this point, but yeah, pretty brutal. Yeah, sure, break my legs. Right then. Prince Pooh has been knocked out. His ears are gone. I like how the sound cuts out at this point. Alright. I wonder how many students of this thought this last guy saying, "Hey, you're done," was like a bit. Like, you're not fooling me. Like, like Indiana Jones in that one Robot Chicken sketch. You know, with the Ark of the Covenant where they're like, "Oh, close your eyes," and the ghosts go away. And it's like, you can't fool us by being quiet. I think they got everything out of the... Yep. They go in here. Roasted some garlic. Oh, roasted garlic is delicious. Like, garlic's really good on its own. You roast it, that stuff goes up to 11. Gonna get some levels. Who will gain 3 levels? Teleport Beta. Teleports in a much, much tighter radius than Teleport Alpha. Absolutely worth it. Alright, our party is now 4 strong. Who can also heal? He's a pretty good fighter. He's a healer. What more could you want? Now, there are certain things you have to do every so often in life. One of them is spend money. And since we're in a tourist trap, well, we're going to be having to spend a little money. Admittedly, it's only $12. But still. Alright, yes, we have to enter the museum. This is a part of the game where, you know, some parts of this game, I just gotta say... Sorry, I had to clear my throat off mic. Some parts of this game, it's abundantly clear why they decided to bundle the strategy guide with it. And this is one of those times. Like, unless I visited the Hintman, I don't think I would ever think, oh, go to the museum. Maybe he said something about the museum, I don't remember. Did he? I mean, I guess you might have figured it out because your ultimate goal is to get to Scaraba. But still, let's give this guy a tiny ruby. This guy would have just blocked us had we come here without Pooh. And now for two of the most iconic enemies in the entire game. The Shattered Man. Well, man. Ness, I'm gonna have you, trivia. All I use freeze. Jeff shoots. Who used freeze? This should knock him out. There we go. Also gives a healthy amount of experience. Ooh, mummy wrap. I don't remember the likelihood on that. I don't think it's 1 in 128. Might be like 1 in 32, 1 in 8 maybe. Mummy wrap, in addition to possibly solidifying an enemy, it also does a healthy amount of damage. I like to give it to Pooh because it gives him a decent offensive option. Alright, so you see how we're like not really aggroing the enemy right now. What we could do is look at this picture, avoid the enemy, get out of here, and leave this Shattered Man for the rest of the game. Now, when you come back, because you will come back, well, you have the option of coming back, rather, later on during the end game part of the adventure, there is a point at which basically your ability to die has been turned off, shall we say. Also, all of the monsters will have been despawned, except for this guy right here. So during the endgame phase, you can come back here, fight the Shattered Man, and if you die, the game will glitch out because, you know, you've got two conflicting pieces of code. Anyway, it's not like a legend. It's not really much you can do with it that I know of. It's just kind of an interesting glitch. But this guy is much more valuable to me as a source of experience than he is as a potential trivia question. Let's see if I can get 2 mummy wraps. Shattered Man can just kind of hit hard. I think he can also solidify you, give you a great big hug. There we go. Only got the 1 mummy wrap, but that's fine. If you wanted to, and you really wanted to get Pooh back up closer to the other three's level, then knock out the other 3 and have Pooh fight the Shattered Man alone. He'll get all that experience all to himself, and he'll end up at a level far closer to the others. But he'll eventually end up pretty close to them in a level anyway. Also, Pooh reads the hieroglyphs. You can't get in here without Pooh, so I wonder what would happen if you didn't have him. Deep darkness is shrouded. The Hawkeye. So we know what we need to do. We need to dance in front of the Sphinx. Go to Scaraba. The hieroglyph copy is just so you can reread the, or re-obtain the directions if need be. But yeah, none of these are really worth, like, casket, training pot, as you do. Phone's ringing. I used to work in an office once. Well, I mean, I still work in an office, but I worked in a different office. Another guy and I were training with like someone who was at a desk. We had yet to get our own desks. Anyway, like the guy at the desk's phone starts ringing, and the other guy who's training with me answers it. And I'm just thinking, like, that's not your phone. So I think of that every time this happens. I believe Mr. Fork's name was Mr. Chopstick. It was either Mr. Chopstick or Rice Bowl. One of these guys is named Chopstick in Japanese. The other one is named Rice Bowl in Japanese. I don't remember which is which. I want to say spoon is Rice Bowl and fork is Chopstick, but I'm not sure. Well, that sounds pretty interesting. I would love to witness something extraordinary. But first, I have a little bit of unfinished business in Saturn Valley. I'm going to take my fourth party member and finally go tackle that third sanctuary spot. Why don't you join me next time as we tackle it? I'm not James, and you might be. Now get out of my museum, I guess. Bye, everybody.